Hello.
Hello. I think I managed to get my mic online after all.
You did manage. Well done. Welcome, Commander K. The first double staff team Q&A that we're having. We thought it would be good to have Commander K here. He can answer some of your design-related questions or other questions you might have. So yeah, we're both here. Hope everyone is doing well. There's quite a few people here already and more coming in, which is nice to see. We'll run it the same as we've run Q&As in the past, so we won't have other people speaking on the mic today, but instead, if you want to ask your questions in the chat, Commander K and I will watch the chat come in and answer them as they come along. It can be helpful if you tag one of us in the chat because it kind of highlights it to us. We might see it a little bit better. Try not to spam questions. We'll get to them when we can. And yeah, I think there's some other staff members hanging out here already as well, so they'll help out if they can. So yeah, Commander K, anything else to mention before we start reading some questions?
No, really happy to be here. Feels like some high school reunion, seeing so many familiar names like Sirksan, Hirvi, Shane, Hobbitos, all of those guys. Glad to have you there.
Yeah, it's got like a nostalgic feel with some old Pixel Worlds players here. That's always nice. All right,
So yes, Siskea, do you have prepared questions, or should we just take questions from the chat, or?
Yeah, let's just take questions from the chat. So guys, if you want to start asking them, we'll go through. So first one I see straight away is when's the game going to release? And some of you might have guessed that with Commander K being here, we do have a little bit of news for you. So Commander K, you want to take that one away?
So the closed alpha is gonna be online in a few weeks. So not months, but just few weeks now. And yeah, anyone who wants can join it. And of course, if you are here on Discord, if you follow the social medias, you will know immediately when we do announce the date and when you can actually join the game. But yeah, just a few weeks now.
Yeah, amazing. So I know you guys have been really patient. It's been a while since we've had the whole community able to play a version of the game. So yeah, you won't have to wait much longer, and we'll all be able to meet each other in game again and hang out. So that will be great.
So I see a question related to this from Chicken Noob. So what does closed alpha mean? So it means that it is still a very early version of the game, but we will open it and it's always online for that duration of the closed alpha, so you can play it every day. It will have a couple of early features. It will have the level editor that hasn't been public yet. Only a small focus group of people played the editor a few months back. But so the in-game editor is ready now there, and you can create your own worlds, and you can create also worlds for the in-game features that we have. And we have two features there right now. One is parkour feature, and the other one is what we call shoot the hoop, so kind of like a ball game feature. So you can create worlds for those as well.
Yeah, and you guys are the first to hear this in this chat. We probably won't be posting about it on social media for a few days. So yeah, you've heard it here first. That's the kind of thing you'll be able to do in our closed alpha. I just saw a question from Yaka. The progress won't be saved, right? So Commander K, jump in and correct me on this, but in terms of progress, I think names are probably the one thing that we'll keep, right?
Yes, you can keep the name that you have had previously. If you played CPA 1, you can keep the name. If you do want to change it, you can change it. And also, we are going to go into early access before the end of the year. And whatever name you have now in closed alpha, you can keep it in the early access later this year as well.
Yeah, cool. So I know that with closed pre-alpha, some people maybe wanted to change their account names. They couldn't get the one that they wanted. So there will be one more chance with closed alpha to change it if you want to. And then from that point onwards, the account name you have is the one you've got and the one you're stuck with. So choose carefully if you want something new.
One thing related to this is that any worlds that you make in closed alpha and also any world names, those are not going to carry over to early access, which is happening again later this year. So you can't and nobody can hoard like rare name worlds or world names or anything like that. So all of those unfortunately doesn't carry over to early access.
Yeah,
But
excellent
also,
point with world names.
yeah, so it's also good so nobody can hoard them at this stage. I also saw my man Shane asking a question: can you scam in the game? Important question. Uh, Maybe on that regard, one thing that we don't have in the upcoming game, what you had in Growtopia and Pixel Worlds, for example, is dropping items into the world. So that's kind of like rules out a lot of that right there.
Yeah, thanks,
Uh,
Shane. Always coming in with the important questions.
Yeah, sorry, just saw this from Big Jeremy. Can you sell worlds? Uh, yeah, the plan is that when the game goes live, actually live, you can trade worlds with other players as well. Then I see a bunch of questions from Jordan. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's a long list. Maybe try if we can keep questions to like one per message, it will help us read them more efficiently. So Jordan, maybe you want to break that down and we'll try and
Yeah, well, I
answer.
can see the last one still. So, what platforms will the game be available on? So, it is already working on iOS, Android, PC, and Mac. Closed alpha will only be on mobile, but when we go into early access later this year, then it's going to be available on PC as well. And down the line, we hope to include at least one of the console platforms as well, be it Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation. But that is our plan, to have at least one console platform in the same game universe as everything else as well.
Yep. Zelax, I can't remember if that's how you say your username. Sorry if it's not. You say, what were the main inspirations behind replacing CPA2 with this new upcoming version? So we kind of talked a little bit about this in the last Q&A that I did solo. And one of the main reasons was we just wanted to have a little bit more time to bring you something better. We could have done closed pre-alpha 2, but there would have been a bit less content for you. And we kind of looked at things and thought that it would be better to bide our time a little bit, but hopefully bring you something bigger and better. And that's what we're doing with closed alpha. So you'll be able to use the world editor, make your own worlds, share them with your friends. You know, it's going to be a lot more detailed and fun, hopefully. Okay.
Mm. Okay, well,
Commander K, you want to take one?
yeah, what about, yeah, from Serxan, what about world name system? Will we be able to have multiple worlds with same names? No, the world names are going to be unique. And when you do get into closed alpha, you can see that when you create a world, you can choose kind of like placeholder name, and that can be quite anything. But then when you publish the world, you have to select a permanent name for that world, and it can't be a duplicate. So each name is going to be unique when you publish the world.
Yeah. And Alexter, I see your question. Hello, Siskea and Commander K. Can you partner with Pixel World and make some mechanism to transfer some items from Pixel Worlds to this new game? I get why you would ask that, because obviously I'm sure a lot of you know that some of our team is made up of all Pixel Worlds devs, but they're really two entirely separate games and companies. So that wouldn't be really something that we could do with transferring items. I do think that's kind of a common thing generally. But hopefully, you know, in our game, we're going to have loads of cool new items. We've been sharing some of the design concepts on our behind the scenes post if you want to check those out. We're going to have lots of really cool stuff for you guys to be trading and buying. And I'm seeing questions about world locks. I think we've covered this before. There's going to be no world locks, right, Commander?
Yeah, I think Jackie already answered that. Yeah, no locks in the game, no.
Yeah. And when will we
Uh,
see the flaming sword in the game? I'm seeing lots of comments about flaming sword. Commander, maybe you want to take this one as well.
Well, hopefully we'll see it in early access, not yet in closed alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I want to address about closed alpha and things that you see or don't see there. So, uh, none of us at Social First, we weren't happy with the characters that we had in CPA1, so closed pre-alpha 1, that many of you guys have played. So we partnered with a Canadian game company who does, or outsourcing company that is specialized in making game characters, and they are making completely new avatars or characters for our game. But unfortunately, we don't get them in time for closed alpha. So still in closed alpha, you have the same characters that you saw in CPA 1, but I want to kind of like uh, press that they are not gonna stay there. They are just placeholders, and we are gonna have new characters for the early access later this year.
So that'll be great. Obviously, it might be people might be a little bit disappointed. We'll communicate that to everyone else, obviously, not just the people in the Q&A, but characters will be the same for now, and then something new will come later because we like to listen to the feedback from everyone. I
Yeah,
just saw a question. Oh, go
so
on. Yeah.
I have to answer Sausage Man because he has been asking this many times. Opinion on pigs, and will pigs or like something related to them be added to the game? Maybe pigs or pets or whatever, farm animals, maybe down the line. But I'm pretty sure you can't make sausages out of them in the game. But yeah, maybe some animals.
And Yamaru, you've asked about some sneak peek gameplay. Yes, I think we can definitely do that over the coming weeks. We'll put out some little teasers for you guys on what you can come to expect in closed alpha. Definitely.
Yeah. There's one question from Tobo. So what's the situation with third-party system for selling in-game items for money? How is it progressing? So yeah, about that. So what we saw in Pixel Worlds as developers, and what I have seen as a gamer myself for the past 20 something years, is that gamers seem to like to trade items from games outside the game for real money. Anyone who has played RuneScape, it has been out for 22 years or something like that, and even games before that. So people do trade items in the kind of like gray markets, like in shady Facebook groups and stuff like that. And it often hurts the games because it's not kind of like integrated into the actual game economy. So this time around, we wanted to be kind of like leading the way as a game company, and kind of like allow that in official safe capacity for some items of the game. It is a kind of like big project legally. You have to kind of like know who the customers are, and there's also all kind of like legal and banking things to take care of. So we are not doing that ourselves, but we are partnering with, well, I would say maybe the leading site that is already doing that for other games, but that is most likely going to happen during or around the early access as well.
Yep. Okay. Cool. I can't say your name easily. That looks like a riddle. Pipipup. I'm sorry if I've butchered that. Says, do we need to register for the closed alpha, or are players who get access to CPA1 automatically registered? If we need to register, how many slots are available? So, if you've played closed pre-alpha 1, the main thing that will happen is that you already have an existing account with us. So once we send out details of accessing closed alpha, you'll be able to log back into that account. It doesn't matter if you haven't played closed pre-alpha, that's absolutely fine. You'll be able to register for a new account, and we'll be sending out details on how to do that when the time comes. So it'll be very straightforward, and you'll get all the details that you need. But yeah, if you've played closed pre-alpha, you get access. If you haven't played closed pre-alpha, you'll get access. It's not super exclusive in that sense. We want everyone to be able to try it out and play it.
Yeah, the closed comes from the fact that we are gonna keep it quite, well, not quite. I mean, there's kind of like limit how many players we are expecting to see there and take in, but it is few thousands that we had, same kind of amount that we had in close pre-alpha 1 as well. So yeah, especially if you join in the first few days, you are sure to get into closed alpha as well. And then a few questions I see on my screen from Chicken Noob. What's the game's objective? I have a great YouTube skit for this that I like. It's about Minecraft. And the answer is that there is no one objective in the game, there's no one objective in Minecraft either, or most of the sandbox games. So you can do pretty much whatever you want that you can do, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And actually, maybe I should link the skit on the general channel after this. But yeah, you can do whatever you want basically, but you don't have to. Then Wraith asked, is it possible to lock a world so people can't enter it? So yeah, in closed alpha, when you create a world, it's not public, so you can just build it in peace, take your time. But when you do publish it, 10 people can find it and go there. But when the early access starts, the game is more ready then we will have in place a system that you can still lock your world to kind of like prevent people you don't want there not to be able to join it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to answer that one too. So that's good. Let me see any new questions. We're not taking voice requests from people this time, so if you could put your question in the chat, that would be great, and we can answer it there. So what kind of currencies will we have in game? Commander, you're the design guy. Any thoughts on currencies at this point?
There's gonna be at least like the usual currencies that you see in games these days. So soft currency, hard currency, and likely there's gonna be maybe 2 different soft currencies or 2 different hard currencies. But yeah, at least soft and hard currency in the game.
Cool. Okay. Will there still be free blocks to build, or are we going to have to work for our items now that the level editor test is done? So, Commander, correct me if I'm wrong, but in closed alpha for the level editor, there'll be items like an inventory of few sample items available for people to use straight away, right?
Yes, in closed alpha, everything is free to use, so you can just build whatever you want, and you can use as many blocks or items that you have as many times as you want in your world. In the actual game, most of the building blocks will be free at the start, and then you can get access to kind of like more exclusive ones down the line as well. But the world sizes are planned to be quite big. I mean, currently in closed alpha, the largest world size is what, 500 times 100 blocks or 500 by 500. I'm not sure anymore, but it's a lot. So if it would be similar that in Pixel Worlds and in Growtopia, where you have to grind the blocks, it would take ages and ages and ages. So this time around in our new game, you can just build the worlds with free blocks as well. And then if you want more exclusive blocks, you have to maybe grind for them or purchase a pack for them or whatever, but you can build quite elaborate worlds with just the free stuff already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we've been testing as a team, we've built and seen some really cool worlds. So it's going to be really
Yeah.
exciting to see what you guys can build.
Just one thing to sort out. I saw Wraith asking, is the CPA 2 already ready or it'll need some time? So yeah, so there's not going to be closed pre-alpha 2. We're just going to have closed alpha. We are a bit more ahead than pre, still in alpha though. But yeah, it's practically ready. We are spending next few weeks testing it, ironing out a few stuff and adding a few more bits and pieces. But basically, closed alpha is already ready at this stage.
So, oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, Big Jeremy asking, can you change world size afterwards? We have thought about that, but I'm not sure yet because it might have some technical difficulties, especially if you would change from a larger world into smaller one. So I'm not sure about that yet. Chadradoria asks again, can you just buy pixel worlds? I do fill out lottery coupons every week, but yeah, we don't yet have money to buy Pixel Worlds. And to be honest, and serious for a moment, I mean, Pixel Worlds was I loved doing that game, but times change, things change, stuff happens, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, we are making new game. We have been making this new game for past 2 years already. So I still play Pixel Worlds, if not daily, weekly myself as well. But yeah, we are not gonna buy it, even if they would want to sell it. I don't know if they would like to sell it. So that's that.
Yeah. Important thing to say there is sometimes I do see comments in our server on Pixel World on the team or whatever. And of course, you guys can have opinions and things, but let's try and be positive. You know, we still have friends working at Pixel World. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's let's keep things nice and friendly because that's the community we want for this game.
One
Uh,
question from Emmanuel, if that's okay to you, Siskea. Question 7: Will there be lore incorporated into the game, and if so, how will it be integrated into gameplay? So this is something that we have been discussing quite a lot in the dev team. Uh, the game doesn't need lore because it's kind of like it doesn't have a plot, or it's not like, I don't know, Diablo 4 where there's storyline, or Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. I mean, like Fall Guys doesn't have a lore, or but then again, at the same time, we did have some lore in Pixel Worlds, even though we didn't start with lore. But that's something that we have been discussing internally. Maybe this is something that we should, I don't know, maybe have a poll on Discord later on, like, would you guys like to see a lore in the game or not? But there is not gonna be kind of like a storyline or anything like that in the game. But yeah, maybe lore if you guys really want one.
Um, so Sausage Man again says, so to the people who won Dark Origin wings, are they tradable or are they possible to sell for real money? So they're not going to be tradable, right, Commander?
The plan is that they are tradable for real money. That's one of the first
Yes.
items that we talked with the storefront that we are partnering with for selling items for with real money. So Dark Origin wings would be and will be tradable for real money on that storefront.
Yeah. But
Check
not
of
tradable in game as normal.
yeah, that's not the plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So wait, check of plates. Oh, there. What main game modes do you guys have planned? You mentioned how you guys did want a variety. So I'm curious what ones you are focusing on at the moment. So in closed alpha, we are gonna have 2 game modes, and in those game modes, you can still win Dark Origin wings as well. So first game mode is parkour, so quite self-explanatory for anyone who has played Fall Guys or Stumble Guys or Growtopia or Pixel Worlds. So those kind of levels that take maybe like 1 minute, 2 minutes to play through. But this time the thing is that you guys can make those games for that official feature as well. So when Close Alpha launches, there's going to be maybe, I don't know, 5, 6 different official parkour levels made by us. But right away, you guys can make those kind of semi levels, and then we can take those levels and add them to the official level pool as well. The other one in closed alpha is going to be kind of like shoot the hoops. So kind of like, well, you have balls and you have hoops and you can score points. Quite self-explanatory as well. We are also very keen as a team to make some like PvP feature as soon as possible, kind of like Super Smash Bros. Melee or stuff like that. But it's quite a big undertaking. But that's one of the next big features that we are kind of like contemplating on, or something of that sort. Hirvi, Moriens Hirvi, will there be clans guilds right away when the full release comes? The early access before the end of the year. Not sure yet, to be honest. Maybe, maybe not. But at one point, yeah, sure, there will be clans and guilds.
Okay. Diplomat says, how are you going to ensure to keep the community engaged in the game development phase? Do you have any new concrete ideas? Yeah, that's a good question. So it's something obviously we've been trying to do already. It's not necessarily super common. Commander can correct me. He's got more kind of game industry experience in this sense, but it's not super common to have your community kind of play the game as often or as early as we have, and that's a big part of kind of what we want for our community. So we want to keep you guys involved. We want to be regularly asking for your feedback. You might have seen we did some focus group testing end of last year and really went into depth there. We care what you guys think about the game, so that's a big part in keeping you involved so early on. We like to invite you behind the scenes where we can, so that's the post that we do on Discord, and then generally, we'll try and give teasers when we can. We'll try and give you gameplay content when we can, and engaging with you like this, like in Q&As, checking in with you, chatting with you guys, hanging out, and just making sure that we really have a good understanding of what you think and how you feel about the game we're making.
Yep, for sure. One question I see from Master OP. Will there be a feature that doesn't require luck to obtain Dark Origin wings and instead grinding? So, well, I mean, yeah, how it works in closed alpha is same as it worked in CPA1 in regards of Dark Origin wings. So you can play the two features, parkour and shoot the hoops, and based on your kind of like how well you perform each day, you get a different amount of raffle tickets, and then we raffle out 10 Dark Origin wings every day based on those tickets. What we do also have in closed alpha is an item that anyone who plays closed alpha can get, and it is a item related to boomer potato of all things. But yeah, that's kind of like we want to make something that kind of like, and it's going to be most likely untradeable. So it's going to be that kind of item that you can then showcase in the world in the game, and it kind of like tells everybody that yeah, this person was there when the closed alpha was online back in the 2024, and the only way to get it is in the closed alpha. So be part of the closed alpha and you get it, and yeah, it's not based on luck, just you playing closed alpha and you get it.
Yeah, exactly. Another exclusive here. You guys heard it here first. Some kind of boomer potato item. And that's something that we've had questions on in the past is obviously you guys are part of our community at such an early stage, and we want to recognize that. And you really do have sort of veteran status. And a couple of years down the line, when the game is bigger and the community is bigger, we really want you to be able to showcase that and show that you supported us from the very beginning. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah. And then QWU asked, will there be community item design contests like there was in Pixel Worlds? Yes, there are going to be community items down the line. So they might be, I mean, because the game is 3D now, all the assets are in 3D, it's easier for us also to do kind of like variations of different items. So you might, for example, have you might come up with a cool design for a t-shirt, for example, that then we can add into the game, or you might come up with a cool idea for actual new item as well. But this time around, it's also easier for us to kind of like do those different versions of items that are there. And we're also planning on different stickers and emojis and stuff like that. So those are also something that you as a community could design, and then we can implement those in the game as well. Wraith, yeah, quite good guess there.
No spoilers.
I didn't say anything. Yeah.
Um, no, I know. So we've got some questions here about moderators for the game. That's just obviously quite a common question that we get. I'm assuming it's because people are wondering if it'll be the same kind of system that we had in Pixel Worlds, where we choose moderators from the community. We haven't confirmed that yet. We don't have kind of a moderating system set in stone like that. We obviously we are moderating and we have ways of moderating, but in terms of having player moderators in the game, that's kind of not yet determined. But when we have information on that kind of later on in development, we'll let you guys know what that is. But yeah, in terms of kind of age requirements or moderator requirements or anything, that's not super relevant for right now for where the game is at.
Yeah. There's one question from Ekipoli about the real money trading. So if we can only sell specific items for money legally, how will this system avoid people from illegal trading? So that's one of the reasons why we chose to partner up with some other company who is doing that and who have all the systems in place. So real money trading would happen on a third-party website, and in order to people to trade there, they have to ID themselves there, and the kind of like the transaction are going from credit card and stuff like that. So you can't really, I mean, you can't really do illegal trading with real money items, because the only place where you can trade those is the third party website. I hope that kind of like asked or answered Eddie Pali's question. If not, just ping me again here.
Okay, there's a
Mhm.
question here about from Zara about farming, and will it be like Stardew Valley?
I sure hope so. So farming is something that we would like to do in more kind of like in more detail than what we had in, because we never did have farming in like a kind of like Stardew Valley type farming in Pixel Worlds. Some of you might remember that we actually had cows and different farm animals and items in the game data and the graphics, but we never got into doing them. But yeah, this time around we are hoping to add kind of like heyday Stardew Valley type of farming there at some point as well. Still, we are a small team of just 14 people, so we can't do everything at once. But yeah, farming is definitely on our list of things to do as well.
Zella says, "Will there be saunas?" I'm guessing that's because I was talking about my love for Finland and saunas the other day on Discord. You never know. Maybe we'll have items where people can build a sauna type world in the game. We'll have to wait and see. Who knows? So Zorro says early access is going to be the release of the game, no more closing it. So yeah, I get your question. There's kind of lots of different terms about sort of the stages of development of the game, so maybe it's a bit confusing. The closed alpha, as Commander said earlier, is more sort of because it's a smaller number of players, and early access is going to be on a bigger scale again. But yeah, Commander, kind of maybe you can explain the stages a bit better than me in terms of what early access might mean generally.
Uh, sorry, can you repeat the question, because I was just like reading the other comments and or questions on.
You weren't listening to me is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, sorry. Yeah. So come again.
No, no. So can you explain to Zorro maybe generally what early access might mean as a stage of development for the game?
Okay, so early access means that the game is going to be always online. So at that stage, we are not going to take it offline anymore. Uh, Still, it's early on there as well, but you can play it, and the most important features like the editor is going to be there. Hopefully, also in-game trading of items and a few more features as well. Uh, and then we kind of like we chose to go into early access very soon, because we want to kind of like see how you guys like the game, and then kind of like it also helps us to see what to add in the game, what maybe not to add, and then what to change and all of that. So we kind of like want to get it out there as soon as possible, and later this year seems that it's the earliest possible point in development that we can get it out there, and that's what we're going to do. And
All
then
these things that sorry.
yeah, sorry, yeah, continue. I just have few
Yeah.
new
Um
answers.
just with early access kind of coming sort of towards the end of this year, as with everything, that's a guideline at the moment. If that changes, we'll let you know. But this all kind of hopefully that happens, but things can change. So that's the plan for now, at least.
Yep. So Lul or LOOL, I'm not sure, asks, is the name of the game decided? Yes and no. When the close alpha launches in a few weeks, you can see name of the game in there, but it is still subject to possible change. But we also want to kind of like hear your opinion on the game name that we have there in the closed alpha. And if you like it, we are planning to keep it. If you hate it, we are going to come up with something else. Master OP, any news on the PvP system? The PvP system, be it Super Smash Bros. Or something else, is definitely something that we want to have in the game. Is it gonna be in early access already? I sure hope so, but not sure yet. But yeah, we are planning to have some kind of PvP as soon as possible as well. But as I mentioned, PvP, farming, clans, I don't know, fishing, whatever, home worlds. There's plenty of stuff that we want to do, but we kind of like have to be realistic about it and try to be organized and do one thing at a time.
Yeah, sure. G has been asking about, will you attempt to stop people with alt accounts from getting raffle tickets to have a higher advantage to get the Dark Origin wings? I know that this was a concern for people during closed pre-alpha. Obviously, you guys all want a fair and equal chance to get the wings. It goes without saying, but we'll strongly discourage anyone from doing that, and we will sort of ban players if we find that that's been happening. What we can do is just ask that people please obviously don't do that. Everyone needs to have a fair chance. We're trying to do this raffle and do this giveaway as an exciting thing for people as part of the early community. So yeah, using alt accounts will very much be frowned upon.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm not sure if yeah, what the programmers have planned for that. Honestly, I'm not sure, but they have been discussing that as well. Then Madagascar asked, what will make people avoid trading in-game tradable items, the ones not sellable for real money legally, for real money on black market servers, etc.? Uh, Honestly, I guess nothing, because you can do that in most games out there, like I don't know, EVE Online, World of Warcraft, RuneScape. You see people trading items on the black markets or gray markets, and it's really not something that you can completely prevent as a developer. Of course, I wouldn't kind of like encourage anyone doing that, not because of the kind of like it's because of you because you can get scammed like that if you pay someone like I don't know $20 for an item and then you go to the game and they are supposed to give it to you and then they just don't show up. That's happening a lot in many games. So I wouldn't kind of like recommend it.
Yeah.
What else? Will there be
There's a
will there be sorry, will there be one letter worlds? Uh, I'm not sure. I don't really see why not. I don't think we have a minimum character requirement for world names, but yeah, not sure. But yeah, most likely, yes.
Yeah. Hi has a question saying, will you guys have a formal email support channel? So we're still nailing down what the official sort of in-game and outside game support will look like when the game is released. We're looking at a few different options there. But in terms of closed alpha support, we will be using ModMail on the Discord channel. So if you have any troubleshooting or any problems, maybe downloading the game, or you've experienced an issue in the game, if you send a ModMail bot a DM on our server, then it opens up a support ticket and we'll be able to help you that way. So we'll obviously update our FAQs page and we'll communicate that out ahead of time, but that will be the plan for support during closed alpha. Just send us a ModMail and one of our team will get back to you with some help.
Yeah. Question from Pietu. When will the PC release be? So PC is gonna be available in the early access, which is later this year. And close alpha is still only on mobile.
So Diplomat has a question for both of us. So Commander, maybe you want to go first. What has been the best moment by far in the development process for you guys as members of the dev team?
I would say that CPA 1 was great because that was the first time that we kind of like had other people, actual community playing the game as well, and we were playing with them. So and it went really well. We were really happy about it, and yeah, that's so far the best for me. What about you?
Yeah. I think for me, maybe it was when we did some testing of the level editor with the community. That process was really fun and rewarding for me to kind of work with you guys on that. And now, kind of as part of that, I'm really looking forward to lots of other people trying out the level editor. It's been really fun building worlds with it, and I'm excited to see what you guys think.
I don't know what is about these food related questions. Sebua is asking, will you add meatballs into the game in a food form or like sword or hat form? Uh, why? But I don't know. If you guys would, I don't know, we could add a meatball head with googly eyes or something like that. If you if you like that. I mean, but yeah, why not? Sure, we can add food related costumes and stuff like that as well.
Why not? Food's fun. I've seen questions about pickles as well. Maybe we'll do a pickle suit or something. Who knows? Maybe it's to do with boomer potato. Everyone's latching onto the food theme. You know, we started with potatoes, then we move on to meatballs. Who knows?
Serksan is asking, I'm not sure if we answered this already, but the question is, will we be able to trade our worlds? Yeah, so the plan is that you can trade worlds with other players. And adding admins to our worlds. We haven't planned on adding admins to your world because there's not gonna be any lock system and stuff like that. But yeah, that's something to think about as well.
Yeah. Zeno says, will the game feature numerous events and collaborations? We'll definitely have like events and things going on throughout the year in the game. Yeah, definitely. In terms of collaborations, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Whether you mean collaborating with other games. I mean, we've had questions on that in the past. There's no plans for that yet, at least. But in terms of events and stuff going on in the game, yeah, we'll have things like that.
Yeah. Master RP asking, will you be able to make sure people can dupe items? We'll do our utmost best about that. Uh, yeah, we'll do our best about that. I think we know a lot more how to do that now. We knew that there was kind of like what there were kind of like stuff in pixel worlds that could enable people to make dupes, and that happened every now and then. But now we know better how to do it, so maybe it's not impossible, but at least much harder. And maybe one thing that kind of like, I don't know, AI is being a talk of the day for at least 6 months or a year. Well, yeah, at least a year in game circles, like as game developer and stuff like that. We are not going to be using AI stuff in the game, but we are going to use, there are kind of like AI services and tools now to kind of like moderating the kind of like doing in-game moderation, and that stuff is also helpful to kind of like seeing if there's dupes happening or any kind of like suspicious activity. So yeah, we know better how to prevent them, and there are better tools now to kind of like see if those happens.
Yep. Tobal says, if there's going to be a content creator program, what will the platforms be in case you've thought about that yet? So we'll definitely be doing something to do with content creators, and we'll be supporting them as much as possible for creating content in our game. What that looks like specifically, I'm not sure yet. But in terms of platforms, if I had to guess at this point, it's most likely going to be YouTube and TikTok, and that would be where we would focus. Focus things would be on video form content. Could even be Instagram Reels, if that was the case. But yeah, we're definitely going to be working with content creators, and we will most likely have some kind of program or some kind of system or something going on with it because yeah, we love to see everyone creating content about the game. That's definitely something we want to support.
Yeah. Then, well, it's not maybe a question, maybe, but from Xilax, you don't need moderators at all if you have AI mods roaming around. That might be the case, but one thing that I think that was great and very successful in Pixel Worlds was that we as game developers were playing the game as admins, and we had also moderators in the game, so players could see staff members and official moderators playing the game with them. And if they had some grievances or if they just wanted to talk to someone, they could always go up to those people and have a chat. Of course, uh, there's only so many people that you can kind of like meet in the game. I just recently met someone in Pixel Worlds who had been playing the game since the launch, and it was the first time that they met me in the game. But we kind of like want to have that kind of like in-person presence in the game as well as administrators and moderators as well. So we're going to definitely have those as well in this game, even though AI could do most of the heavy lifting. But yeah, we want to be in the game as well ourselves. What else?
So Emmanuel
Uh,
has one here about co-op building or real-time construction. Will that be in the next playable phase, allowing players to work together in a world while constructing something? So that won't be possible in closed alpha, at least. When you build a world using the editor, it'll just be you building and editing. Um, but I believe co-op building is something that we're going
yeah,
to have
co
available at some point.
yeah, co-op building is definitely on the roadmap for us. We hope to have it in the early access later this year, and the plan is to have at least one other person there, uh, because, well, I remember playing, for example, like a Little Big Planet and stuff like that, and people really enjoyed playing together or building together in that game, for example. So yeah, that's definitely on our roadmap, and hopefully we can accommodate it into early access later this year already. Big Jeremy is asking, will there be a season or battle pass type of thing? That is the plan, that we would have different seasons running in the game. So in Pixel Wars, for example, we have these annual events, Halloween being the most famous one, and then Christmas and summer and St. Patrick and stuff like that. We are planning to have annual events in this game as well, but in addition, we are also planning to have seasons, kind of like in Fall Guys, for example. So yeah.
So Hi has another question. I think you were the one to originally ask about support. You said, how will you guys handle and communicate users' data when requesting data deletion or change over mod mail? So mod mail tickets are only visible to staff members on the server. So it's secure in that sense. We obviously have our privacy policy on our website as well, which we can direct you to in terms of how we handle your data. But if for some reason we need some information from you for support, like your email address, um, it's only ever going to be viewed by staff members on the server. So it will be secure in that sense. And then when the ticket is closed, it's closed and no longer visible. Hopefully that answers your question there.
A couple quick ones. Tobul asking, who would be the replacement for Jake as a community manager? Will it be Siskea or someone else? We are definitely going to be having community manager or managers, more likely, because we have plans, and our aim is to make this game a lot bigger than Pixel Wars or even Growtopia ever was. So the plan is also to have more than one community manager. Jake, I'm still in touch with Jake, but yeah, I don't know. but yeah, there's going to be more than one community manager. That's the plan. And then Serkson, what about voice chat in the game after verifying your age, like in Roblox? But that's something that we have been discussing internally as well. Like it seems that in many games, people don't really use or want in-game voice chat because they are used to using Discord anyways. So we are not planning at this point to have a voice chat because we assume that people would rather use Discord in any case. But that's also, I mean, technically it wouldn't be that a big of a thing. But yeah, there would be these kind of like age verifying things as all of that. I don't know. It seems that everybody's using Discord anyways in most of the games.
Canonic says questions about future community created items. Will there be any? And if yes, how will people be able to create them? I don't know if Commander talked about community items earlier on, but that's something that we can do. We don't have any official plans to do it right now, but it's definitely possible. In terms of how people would create them, I'm not sure at this point, but we could definitely look at sort of community contributions in that sense down the line.
Jack of Blades asking what will be the main thing to set this game apart from its counterparts, Pixelverse, Growtopia, etc. Well, maybe one main thing is that, as I briefly mentioned already, so we have official features in the game like parkour, shoot the hoops, down the line some kind of like dungeon gameplay as well, like Nether Worlds in Pixel Worlds. And the idea is that with the same editor